The committee will come to order. We'll continue with questioning. Mr. Boyle.
I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Those were the words of your former White House colleague and good friend, Elon Musk. This spending bill contains the largest increase in debt ceiling in U.S. history. It is the debt slavery bill. A new spending bill should be drafted that doesn't massively grow the deficit and increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. Why do you believe Mr. Musk is right or wrong?
I think you'd have to ask Mr. Musk.
Well, take the substance of what he said. Does it not add trillions of dollars, your bill, to the deficit and debt?
It's not my belief that it does. It may be his. He could speak for himself.
But of course, it's not just Mr. Musk. It is the Congressional Budget Office. It is conservative-leaning groups like Tax Foundation, Cato, left-leaning groups, and nonpartisan groups like CBO and JCT. So this bill has actually united the left, the right, and the center, all saying it massively increases deficit and debt. But they're all wrong and you're right?
Congressman, I think that there are a range of outcomes that I think that many do not include the pro-growth measures, just as they were wrong with the original TCJA, and that has proven to be a resounding success. Just as I don't know if you were here to vote for the IRA, the CBO scoring on that, it has been 3 to 4 times more expensive.
So it's curious to me because you spent decades as an executive at George Soros' hedge fund, being very successful, making billions of dollars. Back then, you would always rail against deficit and debt. What's happened?
Again, that it is smart spending. That what are we spending for? Are we
tax cuts that mostly go to billionaires such as yourself, while throwing 16 million people off their health care coverage?
Well, I would dispute that 16 million. I think you're conflating a lot of numbers.
No, it's the, excuse me, reclaiming my time. Those aren't my numbers, just to be clear. As you know, it's the Congressional Budget Office projection.
I think you're adding up a lot of numbers that shouldn't be added.
Excuse me, I am adding 2 specific numbers. The cuts CBO found coming to Medicaid. No, if we're entitled to our own opinions, but not our own facts and not our own numbers. The CBO shows that 10.9 million will lose their health care coverage from the Medicaid cuts, and another 5.1 million will lose their health care coverage due to the ACA cuts. 10.9 plus 5.1 is 16 million.
So you are adding numbers. 1.4 million.
Yes, correctly.
Do you support Medicaid for illegal aliens? 1.4
I am
million?
asking the questions, not you. Although you'll be happy to know that in my Commonwealth, home state, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, actually they check your citizenship status before you can enroll in Medicaid. But I understand why you're wanting to divert and change the subject. Let me move, since we've taken up already most of my time. The World Bank yesterday had a shocking growth projection. They slashed their growth projection for the United States by upwards of 40%. I'm just curious, do you agree or do you think they're wrong as well? Because they specifically cited the trade uncertainty caused by your administration, the administration that you serve as Secretary of the Treasury, as being the primary reason why they've had to slash their growth projection to the lowest since 2008.
Congressman, you kindly cited the success that I may or may not have had in my previous career, but I could tell you I would not have had it if I followed World Bank projections.
So it is interesting that you believe all of these groups are wrong, from your former colleague Elon Musk, to left-leaning groups, to right-leaning groups, to center groups, to the World Bank. Everything is going hunky-dory. The reality is, I can see why you would have that opinion. You, as a billionaire, will reap the rewards of this tax cut, while 16 million Americans will lose their health coverage. That is the sad reality of the situation.
We could look at who would be most harmed if these tax cuts expire.
Well, you'll be happy to know that on this Democratic side of the dais, through an 18-hour markup, every single Democratic member voted to extend the tax cuts for everyone making under $1 billion. I see my time has expired. I yield back.